On the same note, as you continue with the rows, then as you can see that then we've got the formula. But what is crucial here, we're trying to identify the definition of our symbols or that are used in our formulae. Like A always, or A in financial maths, it represents the final value. What will be received or gained at the end of the investment. And then P is the initial amount. Remember, you've been doing this from grade 9. What do we have now? What is the invested now? It's a package. The money, the whole money that you've got it as a lump sum that you're going to invest it. Okay. And then A, it comes immediately after you have invested your initial amount. The initial amount, or the P, represent the principal, is the amount of money that started that is going to start the investment at all time. Okay. And then your N is your period. Remember, when you refer to N, we are referring to N as the notation there always. Okay. And then your I, then it's for the interest that you've got there. But your interest always will be in percentage, but if not in percentage, you must make sure that is the rate that you've got. If it says 8%, now if you got 8%, which means it must be 8 divided by 100. So your 8 is going to be your rate divided by 100. That will give you your I. So where you've got I, you substitute your rate divided by 100. Okay. Basically, this is what we've got from the formula that we've got it here. Apart from that, we've got as you have noticed this one, as you continue there, it's a future value. So it falls under the future annuity. We work it when it deals with the future annuity. I'm sure you can see it clearly. Okay, can you see there? You've got the N, your I, your X, and your F. They have been clearly defined here. They have been clearly defined. Future. Okay, that's the money that they've got there, and so on and so on. But now, with that note, we'll continue for our formula as we continue for our topics. But now, where do you want us to start? I want us to start on something that we know under the investment. Okay, where the monies have been compounded. Let's get this one example, so that at least we remind ourselves of what we know from the previous grade work. Okay. Now, before we get there, we can just look at you should understand this in financial mathematics to put them correctly for each and every formula. If we look at this formula, this is what we've got. Can you see the first one that we've got it here? What we have there, we've got our A equals to P into 1 plus I times N. We know those symbols. It's only when you deal with the simple interest. Remember, from grade 9, we know that we'll be giving on our statement, the key word is going to be the simple interest. That's why we're going to make it a proper choice of this formula. And if we look at carefully or remember well, in our list of the formulas that you find there on our information sheet is one of them that you find there. And then the common terminology that you find there, the rate per annum at the simple interest. Okay, it's rated per annum. So your I is be the rate per annum. Okay, and then this is the other one that you find there. And then this one is preferably, we use it once we see the compound or compounded. This one is based on the compound interest. This is the formula that we have to use. So my advice, in addition to what we've got there, once you read the statement, you underline that and you find that the type of the interest or the amount that you have to find there, it's going to be simple or compound. So then you must be able to identify on your formula sheet, your formula next to them. Just write before you can kickstart so that you don't confuse them. Okay, right next to each and every formula that you've got it on your formula sheet, what type of work that you're going to deal with it. Is it annuity, a future, a present annuity, or you're going to do the reduced balance, or the straight line, or the compound interest, and so on, okay, under the investment. So then the terminology that you find there is going to be that are interested on the compounded can be annually. Then remember we have said that the annually or monthly thing is going to do what? It's going to affect your what? It's going to affect your I and your N. Okay. So in a nutshell, if we deal with that, then we will take it back to our conversion in I and N appropriately or fluently. Then this fluence of converting our I and our N based upon these terms that you find here. This is yearly or annually, compounded yearly, annually. So which means from your I, then you have to divide it by 1. If it's monthly, you divide by 12. All right, I'm sure you're writing there. If it says quarterly, you divide by 4. Because in a year, we've got 4 quarters, okay, per year, okay. And then if it says half yearly, we divide by 2. Some instances, they say semi-annually. Semi means half, okay, annually. Or sometimes says half yearly. So then we divide our I by 2. So which means these terms that you find here, then the effect does it have on the conversion of your I? It's all about dividing your I, okay? All right? And then the effect does it have on your N here? Okay, it's all about what? It's all about multiplying. Here it says annually, you multiply by 1 because it's per year there. Monthly, we multiply by 12. If it says quarterly, we multiply N by what? By 4, okay? And then if it says half yearly, we multiply N by 2. Let's not confuse, let's go back and not confuse the two. We said I, the effect of I on the conversion, according to these terms, it's all about dividing, okay? But with your N, which is your time or your period, your N, you multiply by the description of our compounding. Can you see that? So then these are the crucial weights that can help us to deal with the conversion when we do what? When you do the substitution. By the time you do the substitution, then you must also take into consideration to these terms or the weights that you find. These are the key weights, some of the key weights that need to be underlined, okay? Or highlighted, okay? All right? As you continue with this, then we've got the other formula that we've got there. And as you can see, this one is a future annuity. It's F here. Then these are the annuities. As you see X there, so you must know that this is the annuities, and then your F for the future, okay? So the same, after this, the type of this, it says the annuities, depositing, and then once it indicates the installments at the equal intervals, monthly, yearly, quarterly, then we know that it says the installment. Then we must know that then it's based on the installment, you are dealing with our X, okay? But once you don't see the installment on your statement, so which means you refer to the straight ones, and then we get to the top one that you dealt with them here under the investment. You say that this one, because it doesn't have X, there are no installment here. It's a lump sum. Lump sum over a period. Lump sum we refer to our P, which means it's a lot of money that have been packed together and been putting into the investment or into the bank. Okay, but if you look at the future, then what is happening here? It's all about working on the installment. Each and every month, you are there to the bank depositing something. But on that one of the compound interest, it's all about putting the lump sum. You put it once, and then you relax and wait for the period to lapse. Okay.